Hello? I you ever do that thing where you go to film and then you accidentally press on it and it just took a photo of you? That just happened. And there were a lot of people earlier and I weirdly enough there's a car that drove by here, parked there for a second, and then after a bit of time maneuvered and it just left. I was confused and I just I don't this is why I stay indoors. I I am not a person that likes to go out and do stuff. I used to have extrovert friends that drag me around places. I I'm too introverted for this socializing. It's too come on. It's too much. Too many people. I don't get it. Face expressions. I had to read your face expressions. I had to read your tone of voice. I had to calculate the words you say and try to understand the meaning behind them, because sometimes it doesn't literally mean the actual words that you're saying. Not only that, but sometimes I don't hear you correctly. So then I'm like, it's too much. Too much. Just I'm the type of girl that wants you to text, not talk. Uh anyways, um there's a doggo. Shout out to the cute dog. I have no clue what they look like, but I'm sure they're cute. Um, this time I am going to be going over my history with the series Harry Potter. And particularly wrote down in here J.K. Rowling, and it was later in the section I immediately moved it up to the top because I feel like whenever you bring up uh, Harry Potter anymore, she's the first thing that comes up in people's minds. So I feel like I should explain myself before I talk. Um, I am all for. I am part of LGBT. So of course I uh, support my trans homies, and I haven't gotten anything ever since she's pulled that stunt. I haven't gotten anything Harry Potter related. I do have Harry Potter journals at home that I bought before she's talked smack, or I guess there may have been one that I got before then, or in when it was happening, but I didn't know what was happening. And then the moment I found out, I'm like, okay, cutting off. Um, but I, it's been too big of a thing in people's lives to just, including mine, to not talk about it. In fact, for me, it was one of the spells was my first word. It's been enclosed around this series is enclosed in my life more so than Star Wars. Last video I talked about Star Wars, this one's Harry Potter. Basically, uh, because one of the main characters, actually had a female in it, I was able to attach to it way more. When I was little, I genuinely, as my parents said, I genuinely thought that I was Hermione, and I thought my brother was genuinely Harry Potter. And when he was younger, he actually looked like him to a T. Of course, as they grew, both the actor grew up to look very differently from my brother now. But when they were little, they looked very they looked on point. Like people, like my mom took pictures, dressed him up as Harry Potter, and people genuinely thought it was the actor. But since it's been so big in my life, of course I feel like I need to talk about it. I really have only seen the movies. I've tried reading the books, and I've only been able to properly finish the first book. And then the second book, I basically it's the case that we didn't have any of the books legitimately at our house. So, and I'm a very slow reader. I pick up a book And unless I'm like 1,000% into it and I don't have other like needs that I need to meet, it's very easy for me to read and just put it down and I forget about it, which included the Harry Potter series. But the movies I was able to fully watch through, and those were really fun. So, basically, uh, whenever I watched movies, I would reenact scenes. And before I could even speak, which is around the time that most people were able to speak, I would mimic movements and like make the motions in my mouth that I was talking, but I didn't actually talk. I couldn't do that yet. And then my first word ever was Wingardium Leviosa. And my parents were upset. They're like, it wasn't mom or dad. It was Wingardium Leviosa. Cusses. But I I basically this is also another series where like I go back to, but it's not like I'm constantly in it 24/7. Um with the day and age of internet though, before she ragged on the series, just seeing people pull silly shenanigans and connecting to a house that's basically in their title, like their thing. That stuff was so cool. That shit was amazing because I got to see like a lot of silly Slytherins, and um as I watched when I was little, of course, when you're a little kid, you want to be like the main character. So I was always like Gryffindor. And then as I grew up, I was felt like I was more of a Hufflepuff. And I found out that my dad was a Hufflepuff. I found out my mom was a Slytherin, and that she always thought she was a Ravenclaw. And you know how J.K. Rowling like keeps trying to make the Slytherin look like evil and bad and whatnot. So, um, she my mom was like, absolutely not. I am not a Slytherin in any way whatsoever. But then she took the test, multiple different tests, and most of them came out Slytherin. So that stuff was fun. My dad's Hufflepuff, and because he was a Hufflepuff, and suddenly I had like a sense of pride in being a Hufflepuff. That basically one of the big things is loyalty, and uh I've always, for the most part of my life, I've always been loyal. It's always been a case of someone has to drag me through the mud and then slap me in the face with a grenade, like a word equivalent of a grenade for me to like go, okay, I'll step away now. But as I took the actual genuine test, I got Gryffindor, and I was kind of upset. I I was cuz the house isn't bad. The house is great. That's just the one that everyone, like all the at the time I was always I wanted to be the cool, cute, cutesy, unique one. Like I guess I'm not like other girls type of deal. And so when I got Gryffindor, that was the one that every like the main cast of people that get into the series, that's the one they want to go to. Or I guess in quotation marks, the basics would that's the house that they keep saying that that's the one that they want to go into. And I was upset about that for a while, but now I am happy in my position of being a mix of Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. That those are the two houses I would go to either or. And yeah, I later, next thing on the list, new movies. Haven't seen a new movies, haven't seen new show. Oh, wait. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I've watched the first one and the second one. I've not watched the third one. Kind of similar to Star Wars, actually. And then on top of that, J.K. Rowling stuff happened, and I was like, okay, I just have to cut ties, because the fandom's great, but the movies are kind of mid. it I don't know how to make that one better too, because it the fantastic books and where to find them just comes from. It's just a series of actual literal creatures and just analyzing them. That's really it. But you had a very unique character of a guy that's just big on animals and is a huge animal activist, and in a world with fantastical creatures where these creatures aren't really seen much, it's a cool concept. And fumbled it, and that's okay. It's I've learning I've learned that not every story is going to be a perfect one, and it takes hard work and having people check your stories and that whole spiel before you could just confidently say, like, this is the best thing ever. And I have had years and years of perfecting my stories that I'm working on, so I get it. But after everything that's happened, I'm okay with cutting ties. And I keep saying that, and I keep not go. I just got one more thing on the list left. Okay. Camp experience. I've had to go to camp most of my childhood. I've either gone to a camp or I've gone to summer school. I never really had a chance to have normal summer activities. Well, never be able to just be at home, and my life, it's always been busy, 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 I guess is the best way to put it. And um, one time, though, with camp, they specialized it based off of Harry Potter. And so more people came than usual, which uh, this is with a religious camp too. And there's genuinely people that believe that, like, we're going to start doing, like, dark magic or whatever because of the whole Harry Potter series. So we went, and of course it's a religious camp, so it's all religion based. But um it what was I about to say? It was fun. It was nice. I got to be in the Hufflepuff house, and uh but before we went onto the actual camp, one of the leaders was, like, trying to give, like, a spiritual message, because she genuinely thought that we weren't going to do anything, like, holy at the camp. And it was supposed to be like 5 minutes, and she ended up talking for like an hour and a half as we're basically getting cooked in the sun with no sunscreen on, dying. And whatever message she was trying to tell us, it's gone by that point. So fun, little fun story. But yeah, basically another story that's fandom that's very much a part of my life, and the fandom's fun, but the series itself has not been revamped in a way that's got me excited for this series. So yeah, um, I will let you go. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you checked out the channel and you think it's cool, and I will let you go.